Morning, everyone. Welcome to session number 3 of the White Belt Level Up with CMJ practice. Hey, make sure you get your dice out, and we're going to be following along here, guys. So bring those dice out and get ready to practice. So we're going to start off with our stretching. We're going to start off with milking a cow. So we're just going to make a fist and just extend. 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I go along here, guys, I'm going to be adding different segments to the live stream. So hope I have one new one today. We're going to wrist twist out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like I said, I have a new one to add in today. So hopefully you guys like it. Wrist twist the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you need to update yourself or learn how to do these stretches, I have a video out. Look at my playlist. 1, this is a gooseneck. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make sure you guys do stretch out and follow along. And fingers back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have a bicep stretch. Put your thumb on the edge of the table. Just turn out. Stretch out the bicep and the shoulder. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax a little bit. We'll do another time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have just some shallow squats. Keep your back straight, just up and down. Looking around the casino, seeing what's going on around you. Looks a little weird, but hey, it's going to work. And then the last one's going to be turning, facing sideways and just touching down a little bit past your knees. Keep the legs straight. Back is going to be straight, head's going to be straight as we lean forward and stretching out the hamstrings. So again, these are the stretches you want to do before each session. Whether you do it at the table, which most of these you could do and not be totally obvious. You could do it in your hotel room. You could do it in the parking garage. You could do it before you leave to go to the casino. But anything to get the blood flowing, anything to get you moving, anything to make your dexterity much better. So again, like I said, this is session number 3. And we're going to be going through our dice grips again. Remember, we have 50 reps per session, and we also have our drop tests. So we have 25 drop tests per session. That's followed up by our dice setting. With the white belt level, we stick with the hard way set, the 5-4-5-4 set. And let's get going. So we're just going to grab 2 dice here. And we're going to line them up here. You can use whatever grip you want. If you use the 3-finger par grip, 3-finger front par. You can use the 2-finger if you want. You can use a 1-finger, one on front, one on back. You can go with the index finger. Or you can go with the middle finger, whichever you want. You can do a stacked grip if that's what you want to do. You know, that's what John at ProCraps does, and Cage does that also. I go with the 3-finger front diagonal. You can also do that with a 2-finger or a 1-finger as well. So that's 1, 2, and make sure you get it down so it becomes comfortable here, guys. And you're just going to keep on practicing the grip. Again, we got 50 reps to do. Make sure that you get into it and you can do it expedient. Make sure you get into it and you can do it so that the dice are tight together and that they're square. So again, it doesn't matter which dice set or dice gripping that you're using. And then let's throw a drop test in. The drop test, again, all we're doing is we're releasing that thumb. We're trying to train ourselves so that way we can feel the dice leave our hand, but we're using that thumb to release the dice. We're not using the front fingers, because if we use the thumb, I'm sorry, if we release the front fingers, what happens is the dice pushes apart. Your thumb actually pushes those dice apart. So if we release those fingers, the thumb will push the dice apart. So that's one thing that you do need to be mindful of. That's why we do this drop test. Drop in with the thumb, releasing with the thumb, so that way when we are doing our throw, and again, if you don't get the dice set up properly, make sure you set them back down and redo it. So when we release our throw, we're letting go with the thumb and not the finger, so that way we're not pushing that dice. Okay, a couple more dice sets or grips. And again, like I said, our goal is to get 50 reps in per session. And hopefully you guys have your dice out with you and you're going through these drills with me and you're practicing as we go. Also remember that you can only use one hand inside the table. You cannot do two hands. You cannot have the dice in one hand transfer to the other. If you have it in one hand, you want to go to the other hand, you switch and you set it up that way. Okay? And another drop test. So, guys, make sure you put in the comments of the video how you are doing, how you like the program, how you like the system. Again, like I said, my goal with doing the dice training with Joe, the level up with CMJ, is to get the daily practice in, to prove to you guys that I am putting in the time, that I am putting my actions where my words are, and I want to show that this program actually really does work. I am breaking it down to the basic, to the simple, to the ridiculous, and that was done on purpose. I know that these training sessions might not be the most exciting things in the world, but it needs to be done. It needs to be shown, and I hope that everybody follows along. Good morning, George. So let's do a couple more drop tests, and then we're going to go into our first new segments of the video of the live stream here. And it's kind of ironic that our first chat is from George from CY, because the first segment we're going to go into is called George's Corner, or Words According to George. And George has recently put out some documents that he shared with the Craps Nation group. Make sure you release it with that thumb. Put out some documents that he shared with the Craps Nation group that goes through things that either A, he has found from throwing the dice, and things that you need to do to help train yourself to become a better DI, better dice influencer, better thrower at the table. And he also included in these documents things that he has found from other people over the years. I contacted George yesterday, and he said that I can use this information. Attribution to him is appreciated, he said, but not required, because his main goal is to help progress the community of craps. He says he enjoys craps that much, and that's what he really wants to do. And I agree with him fully. I'm trying to share this information that we're going through here. And, you know, I want to try to make everybody better at throwing the dice. I want to make myself better at throwing the dice. And anything I could do, I will try to do, and any information I can get, I will try to get it, and I will try to cite the source. So let's go to George's corner here, and let's talk about the first thing that he has in this document. He talks about what you consider a variable or a constant when you first start learning to throw the dice. And he goes, when we start throwing a dice, we should consider that all elements are variable. Your gripping of the dice will vary from toss to toss. Your posture at the starting position will vary. Your dice sets will vary. Your position where your dice are set on the table will vary. Your arm energy will vary. Your grip pressure will vary. The position of your fingers on the dice will vary. The height of your throw will vary. The landing spot of your dice will vary. The table itself will be a variable as it is a new table. New height, new length. The chip rack will be an obstacle. The gator walls are a variable. And that's all before we start talking about factors like the noise in the casino. The chips placed on the felt, on the pass line, on the don't pass line, on the odds, on the field bets, the stick man giving you trouble, or the dealer's trying to pay you wrong, or taking too long to understand the bets that you want to place, or the vibes coming from the other players because you hit the hard 8 or the point, or you hit the all tall. It sounds like Mission Impossible, does it not? And that's words that are in George's document that he sent me through the Craps Nation. Great words. Remember, people, that when you first start, nothing's set. And that, shows that when you first start as a shooter, your toss is probably going to be random. In fact, it is going to be random. And that's where the daily practice comes in. That's where you guys need to start going through and doing these drills on a daily basis. Dice training with Joe, check in with George from CY, check in with Ed Robinson, check in with Cage. And, these are all different people that are out on YouTube that have unique throwing styles that actually do the practice, they actually do the throwing, and they have proven themselves in the casino. Okay, so we're going to move on now to our dice setting. Again, remember, learning to set the dice in a quick, expedient factor or manner is actually very, very important. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Clay. And we have Navaldo. I know, we're going to go with the hard way, set the 5-4-5-4 for the white belt level. And remember, this is session number 3 of the white belt level. There's 5 sessions for the white belt level. And what's going to happen is I'm going to try to record all the different sessions, but I'm going to try to do this every single day. I'm only doing my recordings on Tuesday through Friday here, so 4 days a week. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my last 2 sessions for the white belt level off camera. I want everybody over the weekend to actually practice, go through it, put in the time and start training their dice ability. So again, we're looking for the 5-4-5-4. I personally either look for the 6 and I just flip it around to the 5's on the top. That means the 4's in the front. Or another thing I can do is I can look for that 4 or 5 and just manipulate it that way as well. So whichever way works best for you. Remember that the dice add up to 7 on opposite sides of the dice. So if there's a 5 on the front, there's going to be a 2 on the back. If there's a 6 on the front, it's going to be a 1 on the back. And that's kind of how it works, because 7's on opposite sides here, guys. So I'll mix the dice up. We'll go through one more time. So we got 5-4-5-4. Again, we can only use one hand here. And you can try to increase the speed as you go, so that way when you get up to the table, it'll hopefully be automatic. It's another factor, another variable, as George goes, that we can help become more proficient. Another variable that we can actually make so it goes smoother at the craps table and there's a lot less to work with. It should become second nature when you're doing this, guys. Again, in the video series here, in the Level It Up series here, we're going to go through different dice sets, but with the white belt, it just happens to be the hard way set that we're doing. And the other day I talked about the hard way set on, it's a great beginner set, but beware with it, guys, because it does throw some sevens. And if it stays on axis, which is our goal for the dice throwing, to stay on axis, at least the style that I'm teaching, you do want to be aware that the 7 on axis comes out anytime that one of the dice double pitch. So we have a 5, 2, 7, and it is a 7 all the way around here. So that's where your 4 7s come from. And it doesn't matter which dice double pitches. It could be the other one, and it would just be the opposite, 2, 5, 7. And again, those 7s are all the way around on all 4 sides. The 7s will also come out, and just a quick FYI here, the 7s will also come out if they double implode. So that means both dice will go inward. And the 7s will also come if they double explode. So that means both of the dice explode out. So one more time through here, guys, and then we should be able to wrap it up for the morning. So 5, 4, 5, 4. 6s are on the outs, on the left side. The 1s are going to be on the inside, on the right side there. So plans for the weekend for me are that I am going to a city about an hour west of me, and my son will be wrestling. He's a senior in high school, goes to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and he is wrestling at 220 pounds, a weight class lower than my son wrestled at last year. He actually lost 25 pounds to make the 220 category. So he played football this year at 245 pounds. So been working his butt off. So that's our dice setting here, guys. Again, make sure that you guys go through your practice your dice setting. Each session that I have coming up here, I'm going to go through George's corner, or words according to George. And yeah, hey guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for all the thanks in the comments here, guys, George and Jeff and everybody else. But hey, my name is Joe, and this is my dice shooting journey. Let's make it yours as well.